And welcome back. We are here for the Between Darkened Mirrors, episode 10. I'm going to leave it to our players that were here last time to say what they remember from last time. And then I'm thinking that Lord Campbell-Hughes was busy um, stuffing his face with lemon cake or gin or something and hanging out the REC, which is why he wasn't here last time. So, whomever wants to start and tell us what they remember from last session, that would be awesome.
Last session, um, we were given the threat of the monochrome men of Three Mills Island. And in hearing about the story, Whitmore was originally planning to investigate and pack a picnic lunch. That picnic lunch was eaten by everyone's second favorite, Armstrong, Rosicrucius. As we delved into the library, looking up one of the almanacs kept within. Unfortunately, Whitmore got a little bit distracted as an old friend of Lord Campbell-Hughes reared her shadowy head in the depths of the library as we encountered a servant of the mastermind.
For the legacy, what I remember is primarily he's trying to avoid his cousin who's in town for the monochromatic men. Um, and in doing so, he hung out with Doc at a bar where they recounted their encounters with the mastermind servants the night before. And then Victor went and got his seance from the Madame, and yeah, he like threatened them to like stop doing it, or else the Hargrave House would be a tough opponent for them. And then yeah, I think that's what Victor did last time.
Doc did start the session last time, or I guess started a bar crawl we're going to get into later by hanging out at the hair chasing hounds with Victor and chit chatting while Doc patched Victor up. And a nice, sincere conversation, very jovial tone, very funny. And then I continued to do what Doc does best, which is wander from bar to bar and get into trouble and catch people's attention. And that culminated in I didn't get the name of the spot I ended up at, but I interrupted a conversation between a fairly in her cups older woman named Elma and some other person who didn't end up being important, but kind of ingratiated myself, chit chatted, followed up on some voices that I think both of them were hearing, and was able to track down some clues in relation to that, having to do with our lurker in Limehouse. And I think we also, stop me if someone already said this, but we did answer a question about the lurker, that the vampire is very, very, very old. Yeah. As opposed to like a youngish vampire. It's a very old vampire. And yeah, that's what I have as far as what has happened. There's stuff that needs to be done. I know that I need to narrate one of my Masks of the Past that I had to take. So I've got that all queued up. And then I think there's still a mastermind clue that didn't get nailed down that I have in my notes, but that's what I got.
Okay, cool. All right, so reviewed last time. All right, and then just want to go over what I heard as the intentions for this evening, and then I'll find out what Lord Campbell-Hughes would like to do. All right. So, as far as I understand it, Whitmore was going to pay a visit to Melody to pay her fair wage for working, ending up working the party from the other night. And then Victor was going to patrol, and Doc was going to take advantage of his quickening, being so quick, and going to be tracking around for um, a trail for one of these threats. I think you were going to go after the vampire, I think you said.
I think so. I think the idea was like to really like shake the nest,
Okay.
right? Like,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
yeah.
Okay, and then Lord Campbell-Hughes, what would you like to do for this upcoming night phase?
I think I would like to assist Doc in doing some vampire shaking, and I don't know if that's either as a duo or and spread out and do it in different parts of London. Do you have any preference?
I think we should do it as a duo. I think that'd be really fun. We haven't
Okay.
Doc and Lord Campbell-Hughes haven't got to chill out together. This won't be chill, but you get it.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. We broke out all the vampire hunting gear from the Royal Explorers Club. So
Oh yeah.
he's armed and ready to roll.
Yeah, I got my saltpeter gun. Very good.
Very, very good. All right, great. Okay, so that's the plan. I'm gonna review the unseen that I picked out for this evening. It's going to be Billingsgate Fish Market, and it is on line 41, columns C and D. Sorry. Billingsgate Fish Market. The fish market at Billingsgate, within the bounds of the City of London itself, is the largest in the world. Even in the dead of night, it is a hive of activity as the porters, traders, and fishwives prepare for the return of the trawlermen before the sun rises over the Thames. Stalls are scrubbed ready for the day's catch and lamps lit on the wharves. Before we commence with the first prompt and then starting off the night phase, does anybody have anything that they wanted to mention doing beforehand?
I would like to at some point, preferably before we get deep into the weeds, do a vulnerable scene with Lord Campbell-Hughes, as I think it's been a while since he and Whitmore have interacted, given Daniel and I's personal schedules.
Okay. Yeah, it's like for funsies, because it's like, again, hasn't been seen for a while. So yeah, I mean, getting ready for the evening. Where do we, like, okay, so somebody's vice has to be in play. Whose is it?
Yes. Given that Lord Campbell-Hughes is getting ready, I presume gin is involved.
All right.
This could be where I'm loading. I got weapons out and I'm loading things, getting ready to go out with Doc, and so it would be. I want to say, I don't know where we would do this. I bet it's a small dining room that we've taken over, and we've used the table to like spread things out, and maybe we put a map of the City of London,
Yes,
on the wall. But this is like was a dining room, and now it's like our prep room.
Whitmore would have put down several newspapers that at this point are probably a year or so old on the table to protect it from the black powder and oil that come from the guns and the various implements. And we'll probably see Whitmore at a small bar setup, pouring 2 glasses of gin. Oh, Lord Campbell-Hughes, that does remind me. While you were out at the REC, there was a message for you. Someone stopped by rather abruptly in the library, asking when the last time you were joyful, and if you remembered when you danced with her. I believe they were referring to the Fey Queen Titania, but they were very cryptic in their meaning. But that was, in essence, the message.
The last time I was joyful? Well, it's kind of hard to have joy in your heart when the thing that you love the most, this grand city, this cradle of civilization, this bastion against the darkness, is infiltrated with things that are undead, things that are unclean, things that should not be. Whitmore, you know what the cool thing about a wooden stake launcher? The cool thing about a wooden stake launcher is it works on vampires, check, but it also works on other things because it launches this rod made out of solid English oak into the heart of any living or unliving being. I'm starting to feel a touch of joy. Where's that gin?
Whitmore would hand him the gin. You do know that there are other ways to touch at the heartstrings than directly through the rib cage, such as with a tender glance, a simple moment. Whitmore still holding on to the gin as you, I presume, reach for it, hands brushing just for a moment.
That's not for our ilk, Whitmore. Those things that's in the past. We're soldiers here defending not just the Queen, not just the citizens of London, but all of civilization. Surely you know that now, man. Now, you said you saw this person in our library.
Yes, I did.
Okay. That's starting to get on my nerves. And so what I'm going to do first thing tomorrow is we're going to start some extra security here at Hargrave House to put an end to these shenanigans.
What did you have in mind? Please do not tell me we are burning the library.
It's getting me
again.
Actually, talk about joy. I'm starting to feel some now. I'll tell you that. I'll be honest with you. I can feel it percolating. Mirth, maybe even, because the kinds of things that I have in plan for security is going to really catch some of these otherworldly beings off guard.
Should I alert the postal workers not to deliver mail for a few days? We don't want a repeat of
only if they're peapot pixies. Otherwise, they'll be okay.
I'm very certain that Mr. Greaves is not a teapot pixie, and he's just a normal postman.
Let's keep it on the down low then. Let's don't worry our civil servants.
Absolutely. I will make sure that it is under wraps. Though you did mention one thing about us being soldiers. Do soldiers not get to retire? Do they not get to walk through that gilded door at the end of a job well done and retire into the sunset happy?
No, that's not the no, that's not the way it works. Surely you know that our government only takes care of soldiers when they're fighting for the crown. Once they retire, they're pretty much on their own on the streets, begging for a shilling. No, there's no retirement. This is our life, and we chose it.
Some of us didn't necessarily choose the life. Some of us chose those who lead it.
You'll come around, Whitmore. You will come around.
I think we can cut there.
Yeah.
Conditions?
Melancholy, that's gone.
Yeah.
And not
Mirth.
high on life is also gone.
Jeez.
Thank you for setting up that one with the questions from the servant last week.
Goodness. So since it's your vice, Lord Campbell-Hughes, you can either choose to invite Whitmore to ask you a question about your past, or you can stumble on a clue for one of the threats that's still out there, which are St. Petersburg Mirror, the Limehouse Lurker, and the new one, Monochromatic Men of Three Mills Island. What would you like?
Oh, shoot. That's a tough one. I guess because I'm in vampire hunt mode, I'm going to go with the Limehouse Lurker.
Okay. If you don't have one right away, you can go ahead and put down Uh, Lord CH TBH. I mean TBD. TBD. I keep mixing
Can I
those two up.
can I go ahead and just throw it out there? I've got
Yeah,
like
if you got it. Yeah.
this is something I could be saying to Whitmore as I'm loading up
Sure.
all these weapons. I
Okay.
said, ancient. Here's the clue: ancient vampires, Whitmore. Mortal blood such as ours is not enough to satiate their thirst. What we learned, a good 10 or 15 years ago, is that ancient vampires have to feed also on other vampires. And that's the clue.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and plop that in there. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the first prompt. Bob.
Mhm.
David Mendez, a Sephardic Jew, has a stall selling battered fish and chipped potatoes deep fried in a vat of oil. Workers on their way home from a late shift stop for a hot meal. Who stops by and what do they vent about as David prepares their food?
David doles out pescado frito into a cone of newspaper, the folded pages of which advertise a review for a recent strange theatrical performance that, oddly enough, the reviewer seems to have largely forgotten. The rapidly deteriorating cone of paper and battered smelt is in the hands of a rough-hewn sailor type, fresh from a salty voyage. He has an albatross tattooed on his neck and a badly healed scar extending from the right corner of his mouth. He laments about missing a scruffy alley cat that he's befriended over the years. David doesn't have the heart to tell him that most the cats in London have recently taken a haunting leave of absence.
And don't forget to put it into the space, so this way people can try to call upon it later for the echo of the night.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whew. All right, so many things. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with, you know what? Let's go with Doc and Lord Campbell-Hughes first. Okay. So, now the Limehouse lurker is essentially centralized in Limehouse. But were you going to make your way there in a roundabout fashion? Like, were you guys stopping off first or trying to pick up the trail for Limehouse lurker?
I guess we have to start by picking up the trail, right? I'm just glancing over our clues. I don't feel like we're at the narrative place where we could say like, oh, we've got some ideas. Let's go poke around. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I mean, so far, Doc has only been at the Dog and Whistle, and Whitmore was over at Jenny Johnston's at the Opium Den.
Mhm.
So
yeah, I think it would make sense for the two of us to start off the night like probably I imagine Lord James Campbell-Hughes would probably not want to just do what Doc would normally do in the situation, which again would be like wander around, follow the bad vibes until something dangerous happened. That doesn't seem 100% Lord Campbell-Hughes' style, but I don't know, Daniel. I don't know if you've any idea.
and also, what kind of vibe is Doc giving off right now? Because I mean, you rolled what now for the quickening?
Oh, right. So I forget exactly what I rolled. It was, I mean, I did the thing where I'm in touch with the quickening. I have it under control. So I'm like, my eyes are kind of like they catch the light really weird. Um, my like hair seems especially messy, but that's kind of hard to see because I'm wearing a cowboy hat. Um, and I am like, it's like I'm creepily either like very still, like almost supernaturally still, or in like great amounts of fluid and quick motion.
And what was the connection with the workhouse, the Limehouse school? What did she say about that?
I don't think anybody asked about the workhouse.
Where
About
did that
the.
come up?
I'm sorry.
Where did it come up? Is
I
that
don't think I don't think it's come up yet because I mean they didn't visit that during the day. Doc was wandering and found himself at the Dog and Whistle pub, and then like a session or two before, Whitmore was over at the opium den to look at the bodies.
I think that's where we should go then. The opium den.
Okay, and I'm seeing Paul in the chat saying there was a body near the Limehouse school.
Yes, right outside the Limehouse school in the alley. Yep.
Ah, right. That was part of the opening bit, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, either of those.
Like,
Opium Den. It's all. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have pulled that. So either Opium Den or the school. It sounds like, Daniel. Those are maybe our two best options. Which
Yeah, the
one?
school's that's what I was talking about. I thought it was like a workhouse.
Yeah.
But
it is. Yeah.
But if
It
the
is a
vampire's
workhouse.
like little, then maybe that's where they hide out.
Mhm.
I think it's
Also, it's like one of our earliest like parts of this. Is we're thinking of this as like a crime and us as detectives. Like that's kind of one of the earlier scenes of the crime. It might not be a bad place to like start there.
who was. Let me go back to the intro. to see
Charla
what-
Bell was the person that was found near the Limehouse school. Yes.
Okay, let's check that one out.
Okay.
Alrighty. So you've headed over to the Limehouse school, and from the report, you know that the body was found out in the alley over by the Limehouse school. Yes, a young mother found in an alleyway behind the Limehouse school. Yep.
I've got a small oil lantern, and then I've got this launcher strapped on my back, and I'm wearing like a long top coat. And I don't know if this light is hurting your eyes, but I'm walking down this alley, and I say, "Doc, this is where they said the woman was found. I believe this alley."
Yeah. No. I remember that, Lord Campbell-Hughes. I think.
I'm looking
I've
up.
also.
Is it how tall are these? How tall are these buildings when I look up? Like how?
I
how
mean,
deep
not
are we?
yeah, not that big. I mean, like, the Limehouse School again is like a workhouse, so maybe tops like 3 stories. You know,
Still.
housing all those kids, and then like being a school on the bottom, and then yeah, there's like warehouses nearby, and of course the opium den and the dog and whistle near the dock.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I think Doc also has a lantern. I even have one in my personal effects from the library. It's like one of those like hooded lanterns you can turn down in degrees. It's like very, very, very low as possible, because the instinct that like bright lights might not be exactly up Doc's alley right now is, I think, pretty spot on. And he's got, I think I have a saltpeter gun, which I don't know if there's a specific shape that takes, but I'm thinking of like a grenade pistol, which is like a big shotgun pistol. But I don't think it fits in whatever holster I have for sure. So I think maybe it's inside my coat. And I think Doc would go to like where we think we know the body was, and is taking like an overly close look at the area. Like he is sticking his face into like the corner of the alley, like sniffing things, and just again like being almost frighteningly still, just like staring at one spot in the cobblestones for like a really, really long time, holding the lantern over it.
I'm gonna say, like, you can roll with vitality on that, and then you would be doing an information move.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. And that's 3d6, take the highest with advantage, right?
Is that your one advantage roll?
Well, for what is it? For the quickening, I get advantage on all vitality rolls.
Okay, great. Go for
Let me double check. Make sure it's advantage and not increase. I get those mixed up.
it. Roll with advantage. Roll the
Yes,
advantage. Use
when taking
vitality.
actions, vitality.
Yeah, and then like come dawn phase, you'll tell me another clue.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah.
Okay, so 3d6, take the 2 highest plus 1. Let's roll.
Okay.
Oh, right, I have to enter a name. I always forget this step. Ooh, that's a 9.
Okay, that's still
Yeah.
not a miss. It is
Not a
not a
miss.
miss. Not a miss. Okay.
Just hates after three dice and the addition to C11 at the far right of the screen is like, oof, each. Ooh.
Um,
Owie.
Lord Campbell-Hughes, what are you doing while Doc is sniffing?
I think when he gets really really quiet and it gets to the point where it's almost awkward, where Lord James wants to like say something, but I hold off, and then he reacts. But I think what I'm doing is I'm keeping an eye on the roof line and kind of like keeping an eye on the on both ends of the alley so that we're not surprised.
Okey-doke.
Up, backwards, and forwards.
Hmm. You know what? For funsies, go ahead and do an information move as well. But yours would be with reason, I would imagine.
With what? With reason?
I believe so, yes.
I got a 7, and I think my reason is still +1. I've not
Yes.
checked in a while.
Yeah, that is true.
I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it gives
Okay.
me an 8.
Okay. Alrighty. Still, not bad. Mixed result is still good. All right, Whitmore. Whitmore, you said you were heading over to the Candle Lit?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I think by the time you get there, I think Melody has started to close up shop. I'm trying to remember. Did she meet you? Did she meet you yet?
It would have, I don't believe we've interacted. She would have at the very least probably been handed a tray full of food at some point in the evening by Whitmore.
That happened. I remember that happened.
Well, not by Whitmore though. It was by Victor.
But yeah, but I think Paul went that direction.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So I'm at least familiar with my face
Yeah.
in the terms of Hargrave House.
Okay. So yeah, she knows that Victor. Okay. So I think, as she's locking up shop, she sees you approach and she's like, "Oh, Mr. Whitmore, correct?"
Yes, Miss Bain.
As you can see, I've closed. Was there something you needed?
Yes, but not so much from the shop, more so from its proprietor, from you.
Oh, certainly. I was going to pick up something from one of the stalls nearby, if you don't mind, for dinner. Would you like to join me?
Absolutely. Might I recommend the uh, the meat pie, specifically the chicken and cabbage? It's a delightful one.
Oh, usually I'm with the currants myself, but I will try that on your solid recommendation. Those I unfortunately did not have a chance to get any myself the other night, but I've seen that your canapes were quite popular at the party.
Thank you very much. It is something I pride myself in. Keeping a Hargrave House fed is sometimes more than a one-man job, and it is that very job that I've come to see you about.
Oh?
You were not actually on the list of hired help that evening of the party,
No.
and you did more than your fair share of work. So I was actually coming to provide, while small, your stipend for your assistance that
Oh,
evening. And Whitmore would hand her the same amount that the other servants have been handed for the evening.
well, this is absolutely lovely. I was not expecting this at all. Um, ah, well,
Well, why, yes, of course, you should have expected it. Everyone deserves to be paid for an honest day's work, or in your case, an honest night's work. I did not mean to imply anything impolite, simply that it was night and not day when you were working, not to imply that there's anything inappropriate there.
oh, of course not, of course not. I mean, if anything, I was merely a guest at the party. I mean, this seems very generous. I do appreciate this. Um, Still, I mean, you came all this way. It would be my pleasure to have you over to join me for dinner.
Oh, what? And Whitmore would pull out the exploding pocket watch just to check the time, not to explode anything. Would check the time. Well, that seems like a wonderful idea. It is getting quite late.
I usually keep later hours just
Mm,
in case any of my customers need any kind of last minute things before they go off to go home. Um,
thoughtful
so
of you. Oh, I
the least I can do.
always enjoyed working the late shift at the booksellers myself. It was always a time to at least catch up on my own reading. Do you
Oh,
do something similar, or is it just tidying up?
ah, well, it's usually just tidying up. I actually have inherited my shop from my family, and I don't
Excellent.
have much for leisure these days. It's
Mm,
shop, go home, have some dinner, and then
I'm so sorry to hear that. In that case, while you may host dinner this evening, may I at the very least then provide the meal itself?
oh, that would be lovely. I don't want to put you out. I mean, I'm inviting you. My
You may you
my
may pop. Oh,
domicile is not that far away. I mean, again, just get. I was planning on getting stuff at this stall that you've recommended, and then heading home. Yes, yes.
well, you may still play the hostess. Pop a bottle of wine, and I will pop on your stove.
All right then.
That that may have come out inappropriately.
I
Turn your stove on. No, that's still. I'm gonna go shop. I will stop at the stall and go shopping.
She puts a hand on
Whitmore.
your arm. To be honest, I've been trying to come out of myself lately. Again, I have never really done anything outside of taking care of my shop and my clientele and going home, having a meal, and then dropping off to sleep and then starting again the next day. And just recently I had started to come out of my shell and find myself in strange situations. The play the other night, and then the seance the other night after that, and then back at the house with a
Mhm.
party. I mean, it's been
I'm
quite exciting.
glad you've seen it that way. Unfortunately, encounters with Hargrave House and its occupants tend to bring out everything but the mundane.
I'm starting to see that. I'm not sure if I should have come out. By this time, like you've already
Mhm.
gathered some stuff from the stall or what have you, and excuse me, heading up to her place, which is a single walk up in a in a decent tenement. Um, Again, not historically accurate, just so you know. Is there anything you want to do as you're speaking with her, Whitmore?
Um, hmm, I Given the fact that we're going into her abode, I think most of Whitmore's focus is going to be on trying to see or trying to find out more about Melody's connection to Madame Zorican in the mirror once inside. So the being a polite house guest while also snooping through the medicine cabinet sort of deal.
Love it, love it. So let's just assume that you've gone, you've gone with her to her neat little walk up, and everything's pretty much, minimal, but I mean, like, also still comfortable and stuff like that. Paint the scene. What little touches has Melody added to this little single room apartment that she has that gives it a simple, homey atmosphere?
There
She
is
has she has a bookshelf of well-worn adventure novels.
I'm going to say there's like really bright daisy yellow curtains that she has made herself.
the entryway. There is a coat hook or a hat stand with several different coats on them, all of which appear to be hand sewed.
I
And if you don't
First
have
off,
anything, that's fine too.
I want to say, does like a dartboard work? I don't know why, but like historically, does that in this context?
It
I mean, like a
doesn't
dartboard
matter.
with like a knife in the just
Oh my
one
god, that
knife
seems.
in the
Oh
upper
my gosh.
corner.
Oh wait. Did she give Victor back his knife? I wonder.
It's Victor. It's got to be Victor's knife then, right? Like a
Yeah.
dartboard, like it seems heavy use. Like this person clearly is like playing darts all by themselves a lot, and then yeah, Victor's knife like hanging in the outside rim, as if they were like, I bet you Victor does this. Maybe I can. Yeah.
Okay, and this is what you see, Whitmore.
Whitmore would take a slow glance around the room, making note of Victor's knife, thinking for just a moment, does Victor want that back? And then, curse you, Paul, his eyes would come to the shelf of adventure novels, and specifically one that he's been eyeing from the local bookseller that they have not been able to keep in for weeks. And he would, almost foregoing social etiquette, reach for the bookshelf and pick up a copy of this novel. And thumb through it, asking, quite engrossed within this work, where did you manage to find a copy of this?
And she's been taking off her hat and her coat or shawl or whatever she's got on, and she says, "Oh, oh, well, maybe I do a little indulging before bed. A friend of mine has actually. They will get certain things for me. One, because it is their form of payment, and two, because they know that that's my little vice, liking to read some of these. So I've been enjoying them. They're quite fun, but this is not the reason why I decided to venture out. It was just pure whimsy. Not like me.
You made the right decision, both in choice of payment and decision to go out. You've made you've struck in well in the hearts of the hunters at Hargrave House. I even see Victor's knife still on the wall. But
He didn't take it back. He was busy
He does-
holding the gash in his underneath his arm.
he does not often take the knives back once he's given them out. But he does only give them out to those that he cares for. You should you can hold on to it. He won't mind. In fact, I'm very certain that's why he gave it to you.
I hope you're right. I don't even have a holder. What do these go in? I don't.
Usually a knife block I found works best. A solid piece of wood, usually in the kitchen, holds the knives best. It also keeps them out of the prying arms of young hands.
Don't have to worry about that. At least it's fine. Yeah, I've just never had one that's been that sharp. I had to keep it in my little reticule all day, bringing it home. Yes. So, if you have any idea about the care of such things, that I would appreciate any advice.
Whitmore would take the knife and direct her into the kitchen and begin sharpening it, but not like sharpening it well, sharpening it as if it were a kitchen knife, turning the blade from something that Victor would use to dismember someone into something that Melody will use to probably butcher a chicken at some point. But you did mention that you've got a few contacts at the shop that supply you with odds and ends.
Yes. I mean, not my
No.
actual stores, but again, different forms of payment. I mean, for some that I know that the money is important to them, then I will accept barter. So,
You happen to know if any of them would frequent Russia as a port of call, specifically the St. Petersburg region? Trying to pry a little information out of her about where, possibly which distributor brought the mirror into London.
right. I'm gonna say that you need to roll information move with presence. I mean, like, now that you guys are getting chummy over dinner.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. That is an 8.
You were
I
working
saw
me, man.
I saw the 1 as the first number that came up.
That's never a good thing, I know.
No, it's not.
Okay. All right. Okay. Coming back to that. All right. Victor. Yes. So you are patrolling. Specifically where?
It's like the park outside, like the like the government. I forgot. I know there's like a park you mentioned last time.
Yes. Yes. Give me a second. I want to take a look at that, actually. Yeah. There's a park between St. James's Park is between Buckingham Palace and Westminster, a favored casual rendezvous for diplomats, spies, those who can tell the two apart, and pelicans. Paint the scene, and this is for everyone. Who do you see taking a promenade around the park, and what are they trying to hide?
There's a pelican.
Bird.
A bird strutting down the promenade. To the average human, the pelican has absolutely nothing to hide. It's a pelican. To the other pelicans, though, oh, you know that they've got a fish right there in the gullet, and they're just trying to find an easy spot. But this pelican is wily. It's been dealing with horseless carriages, or I'm sorry, horse-drawn carriages, avoiding them dearly, avoiding the things that go bump in London. And so this pelican, while looking like an ordinary pelican, is the Batman of pelicans. It is doing its best to lurk through the shadows, avoiding suspicion of the other pelicans with its hard-won prize.
Nice. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead, Roll. You go ahead.
Okay. I'm thinking of like a street ruffian, like a 11-year-old child, but stunted. It seems really out of place. And is hiding like in his tiny patchwork coat, badly, might I add, because it's very visible. A big fish also, like the pelican. They stole a fish from like probably the fish market that we're doing in the unseen, and they're trying to like get it back to where they have like a little spot with a bunch of other ruffians to split it up. But like it's just a little bit too big. It's kind of unwieldy. They keep like stumbling over and almost falling and then like overcorrecting. And so they got this like weave, step, weave, and then again, like right underneath their coat, because it's a short coat, you can see like the head of the fish. It's a very big fish.
Speaking of Batman of Pelicans, urban legend, Spring-Heeled Jack has his collar pulled up high to hide his face and his hat pulled down low. And he's dressed all in black. And every once in a while you hear a squeak where some of his steampunk style inventions are grating underneath his jacket and coat. And he's pickpocketed a diplomat, and he's trying to slowly push that packet into a secret pouch that he has sewn into his trench coat. He just can't get it. He got it. And then he slinks off into the darkness.
There is this. I think it's like a man and a woman. They're like standing right next to each other at like a corner. Both of them are smoking. The man takes a drag of his cigarette and goes, "Do you have it?" The one goes, "Yes, I do. This is the last time we're gonna make this exchange, okay? I can't keep doing this." And the man goes, "Yeah, last time." The woman, from like maybe like it's like a bag next to her, like pulls out this tray. Let's just say it's like a basket of like finely made bread. And she goes, "At some point you're going to have to tell her that you're not making these yourself." And he goes, "I can't. It's special now. It's for special occasions." And like she keeps asking for the recipe, and I keep doubling down. And I at some point I will tell her. I promise. This is the last time. I promise. And it got away from there.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay, sorry. That was so good. All right. So, Victor, you see all this stuff.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, I think he's sitting on a park bench. And he has like a newspaper with like a headline of like most forgettable theater performance ever seen. No, really, I can't remember what happened. Does someone know what happened?
You skulking. All right, we got
Yeah.
that part. Where exactly are you skulking? Are you going to talk to anybody, or are you just trying to get near folks in the shadows and just trying to listen in on their combos?
Yeah, I think Victor is trying to just look like a person on like a nightly stroll. As much as he can, really.
I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, he tries to sit on the bench. The newspaper isn't really working out. But I think at some point when he can clearly see that people are like avoiding him, he'll just like probably. I think the best skulking spots would probably like be like behind trees and stuff like that.
Sure.
And he's just like moving between the more heavily dense foliage here in the park.
Nice. So I leave it to you, depending on how much you want to skulk. Because conceivably you could tree dance and then skulk up in the trees, even if you'd like. But I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to composure, or do you want to do vitality?
Yeah, I think I'll just do my custom move. I
Okay.
think it's
Can you read that out
I-
loud, please?
yes. The hunt comes to you. When you patrol the streets of London at night, making your presence known to the darkness of the city, roll with sensitivity. On a hit, you are immediately confronted by a threat or a personified danger related to the threat. You may ask them 2 questions from the list below. They will not answer directly, but rather in the form of a clue. On a 10 plus, the threat or danger departs as soon as the questions are answered.
Okay. So go ahead and roll with sensitivity.
All right. Do you think challenge accepted counts for this for condition wise?
Mm, no, because it's like
Okay.
I mean, since you're not calling upon
It's true.
any servant right now, it's like I think you're
Yeah.
fine.
So sensitivity. All right. That's gonna be a 9.
Okay. All right. Unseen. Jeremy. Maggie Dillon is a fishwife of middle years with a lifetime's experience in the market. As the catch comes in and she bargains with trawlermen and customers, how do we see that this is her domain and she refuses to fit the mold of genteel womanhood?
We would see her first come into the scene swearing like a sailor. The first words that we would hear out of her mouth, and I apologize for the coarse language. The fuck you mean that's only 3 shillings? That's a damn good fish. It should be worth at least 14. I don't know why she held up 4 fingers, but 14. And we see her do this calculated dance between swearing at the fishermen, trying to lower the price on the various catches, hyping up all of the flaws with these fish. And then we see her in sort of the same ballet step, dancing back to the customers, hyping up the excellent portions of that same fish that she just said was trash. And we can see her continue through this dance, each movement, each pirouette punctuated with the foul language of the sea. Her loud, bolsterous voice clearly showing that she does not have time for your shit, or especially not your shit. And that she's here to do 2 things: sell fish and make money, and she's not yet out of fish.
Back to everybody. Okay. So, you two got a 9 and an 8. Let me give you clues first, and then we shall get to the fun. All right. And then I just need to be reminded which clues I already gave you. All right, this is one of my favorite clues. So, Doc, I think when you are sniffing around down this alleyway, depending more on your sense of smell rather than anything else, I think you picture these things as you're scenting them. It's almost like digging into memories, but with scent. And what you see in your inner memory when you smell this is like, like that shimmery effect that the camera gets, like, when you're kind of picturing stuff like in the past, or just remembering what something smells like. You smell what seems to be a pool of half coagulated blood in a dark, dank, subterranean place. Lord Campbell-Hughes, I think you will raise your lantern around this alley and such. In a top story of one of the buildings around, I think it's a little disorienting in this alleyway right now for some reason. Like the darkness is making some strange shadows, and the lantern light is not actually helping you. It almost seems to deepen certain shadows. But what you do see, when you try to shine some of the lantern light, is that you see a thick swarm of bats over a particular corner of one of the buildings nearby. I mean, they're not just hanging there; they're actually like flapping and creating this bat cloud that seems to be hovering over a certain spot.
I say to Doc, we're here in this alley for two things: finding evidence and stirring up some vampires. And I think we're all out of evidence.
I think you might be right, Lord Hughes. And I look up.
I just show you the swarm of bats.
Oh, that is perplexing. Bats and cats. Should we be looking for rats next?
I think as you're looking in the same place, peripheral vision, I think you will hear something before you actually see it, Doc. And before you know it, I believe that there is something that comes between you two as you are looking up at the swarm of bats. I think that there is a dark, small shadow that pretty much pushes you both away from each other. It's almost like it's bursting from one of the shadows. Night move. Both of you.
Okay.
With give me a second. Night move with hell, sensitivity.
Okay.
What do you think will go wrong if you fail or lose your nerve? Both of you.
What, I'm confused as to what we're trying to do specifically with the roll. Like not get hurt by being
Yes.
or like, or not get hurt.
I'm afraid that with this this bolt launcher in one hand and a lantern in the other, that I don't have a good grip on it, and I just fire like a burst of these wooden bolts, and one of them catches Dot in the leg.
Great.
Doc?
I want to say I'm worried about this thing getting away, but that never seems to be like quite scary enough. I think that's what Doc is most concerned about. Doc is like attempting to rebound after this and get the thing, but yeah, I don't know, the best thing I can come up with is missing this opportunity. Like this is all the stars are aligned for some really great opportunities at going out and really actively hunting as opposed to having to worry about, my physical form as much.
Well, I'm going to say that because you are so vital tonight, I think the vampire's attention has been gathered. And so I think what could go wrong is that somebody gets a nice big taste of
Too much attention.
Oh, yeah. So, did you two roll with
And
sensitivity?
Can I burn my my lamp from Hargrave House Library as like a kind of shedding enough light to like give me a bit more of that peripheral vision to maybe get a bit of a faster move?
Sure. I mean, like, go ahead. Let's see. You don't have any conditions on you, so basically that would be advantage. Advantage with sensitivity, please. And Lord Campbell-Hughes, do you want to use anything for this, or are you using the actual weapon to?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna burn that.
Okay.
That makes the most sense.
Okay.
I'm at a -1 for sensitivity.
Oof, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Because you have the condition losing his patience, I'm gonna say that you're rolling straight with sensitivity, just because it is, you could be a little bit too trigger happy because of your impatience. So
I'm gonna re-roll because I did it with 3 and I got a lot of 6s.
What are we playing? Trophy? What the heck?
I'll do it. There was a lot of sixes there. Let me roll it again. Now that's a lot of ones.
I'm so sorry.
I was on cloud 9, and now
Oh
not so
my
much.
Oh my dear. You know what? I would have just gone with your first roll, which would have been fine. You're like what, 11 at the least.
If we go, yeah, if we go with my first roll, that would be a 8. With the -1, that would have been an 8.
Okay, got it. Okay. And then Doc, I'm sorry, what was your roll?
So good. I got a 9, even with advantage and +2. Weirdly enough, I rolled 1 6 and 2 1s. We got some like 1 in 6 repetition in these 3 rolls.
Guys are doing great. Oh no, that's okay, because yeah, like Stars and Suns last time was rolling like ass. People that were getting 5s were still getting 5s. People that were getting 7s were getting 7s, and only because they had 3 vitality. So it was a weird mess. Okay, so you guys are cool. All right, so tell me how each of you like describe your actions. So Doc doesn't get hit by you doing the gun thing, and then Doc, you manage to, I guess, smell and spot peripherally that this thing was coming after you two. So just like give me the scene here, like, you know, what's happening as you see this shadow coming from behind and to the side, from the side.
I can do the miss. I can do missing everybody. So it feels like he said something like exploded between us. And so I turn and just start holding down the trigger as these wooden bolts get launched, one after the other, and they're crashing into the wall, and they're shattering brick. And the form though is so fast I can't track it with my human eyes. So I'll turn it over to Doc there.
That's incredibly cool. I like in that ballet of like wooden bolts firing everywhere. I think Doc, like seeing the thing just like a second earlier than he might have, like just winds up with the lantern and like uses the explosive, like all the explosive muscles of a puma to like really lean into it and try to like just knock it into the ground, but it is busy moving out of the way of one of the bolts that doesn't hit it, and in doing so completely with my swing of the lantern also realize there are bolts coming towards me, and so just like to follow the momentum of my lantern, which smashes into the ground and shatters into a million pieces, and then like, because I'm moving faster than a human being should be able to move, like violently tumble end over end and like end up on my back, like flip over enough to where I'm on my back but still moving forward with momentum, and like my feet hit the wall on the other side of the alley, and I like quickly turn back around to get up.
Yeah, I think again you're seeing this creature as this very dark, very fast shadow, but also, you know, what's ended up happening too is that as you're shooting these bolts, it's like you're hearing this cry of like, and then it's screeching as you are trying to move away from each other, but also try to get it. And then like you're also seeing splashes of blood. So I don't think you can tell at this point between the two of you, like whether you've hit each other or if it's actually something from the creature. You can't quite tell at the moment. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, when like all is said and done, the shadow has kind of zigzagged past, maybe like followed along the wall and disappeared around the corner. And then what you're left with is a bunch of these bolts either stuck in the wall, on the ground, and splattered with blood. And maybe you're on opposite ends of the alleyway at this point. So.
And specifically, you're saying the bolts are splattered with blood? There's not like blood splatters?
Yeah, I mean, like it's both. It's like they're splattered with blood, but there's some splatters on the wall, but you can't tell. Like, I mean, like maybe again, since you're away from each other, you can't tell like whether you've hit each other or what have you.
I think we gotta like book it. I think Doc like again like scrambles back to his feet and like we can get it, and just like bolts down the alleyway.
That's so cool. Oh my god. Um,
I see how fast he's running, and
mhm.
I feel in my pocket to make sure I have that the slugger's potion, just in case I might need this to keep up with Doc, because I feel my heart about to explode.
Oh dear. Okay. I want to give you 2 conditions, but I have to think about what it is.
I wouldn't mind taking that one.
What?
Like some kind of physical
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that is though. It's like it's not just winded though. It's like palpitating. Put
heart palpitations.
yeah, put palpitating heart as your condition. And then Doc, you're excited, you're like bursting with excitement, but I mean like it's the raw kind that could get you in trouble.
Yeah, tunnel vision kind of thing.
I mean, it's not necessarily bloodthirsty. That's the thing. It's like it, but it has to do with that.
That's definitely in the orbit of what I was thinking. The bloodthirsty
Yeah,
tunnel vision, like something like that. I'm
something
too eager for the kill.
right. Um, just put down eager for blood. Okay, sorry. And we switch over to the more like homey cozy feels of Whitmore being at Melody's place. All right, so you made dinner, and for your 8, you're asking her specifically about connections to St. Petersburg and Russia, right?
If any of her clientele are, yes.
Okay, yeah, let me see. It's funny that you ask that, she says as you have dished out this lovely meal, which is comprised of the chicken and cabbage pie, but then you've done something to kind of make it a little bit more.
Probably added some lightly fried potatoes.
There you go. Yeah, she's quite taken with the attention that you've given it. And she comments on how wonderful the meal is, but she says, "It's funny that you should say that. Sometimes my clientele goes beyond the usual working folk. There is a Captain Fairweather. When he decides to dress up to the nines, as he likes to do, that smart uniform, of course,
Mm-hmm.
he he does dabble. And he went to Madame Sorokin at first because he was in the company of a lady that he was courting. But then he became obsessed. And he was not only at that seance where I saw Victor, but he's been to more readings and seances ever since. And in fact, one of the things that was divulged at the seance, not the one where I saw Victor, but it was something about his childhood. It was a dark secret, he said, because he began to cry and mumble his thanks to Madame Sorokin after the seance was over. He was actually glad that it revealed this dark secret. I mean, it was so strange. But yes, he's connected in that way, and he is, I believe he's a captain now. Yes, he is a captain, yes. Very odd.
Very odd indeed. Although seances can have quite the effect on people. Appears to have had a very deep impact on him.
Same with the seance that I was at. The Lady Cadwallader, I mean, she was just steeped in grief, and she just wanted to get some solace, I suppose, from her husband's death, and then was always a frequent visitor at Madame Sorokin's parlor. Madame Sorokin does quite the great trade.
She does. It is in fact that great trade why Hargrave House is investigating. At least investigating her.
Do you think there's something to her powers?
We suspect that they may in fact be real. That the things that she foretells or forewarns of are not so much prophecies, but glimpses into the future.
I've been thinking about going for my own reading to Madame Sorokin. Her assistant, Elsie, will come and get supplies from my shop. Not just candles, but, I mean, of course, foodstuffs and general grocery things like that. Yes. Since she hints at all sorts that come to Madame Sorokin and partake of her services, her talents. So,
See, it sounds like Madame Sorokin has quite the influence across all walks of London life.
yes. Yes. Elsie has dropped hints of, like, being connected to some sort of cultural attaché and being very important with...
Cultural attaché, you say? Did she happen to hint at which culture she is representing?
I believe... Well, she hints at a count, I suppose. And the only count that I can think of is that debonair fellow that keeps throwing his weight around, even near my simple mercantile. Count Olaf? He's the cultural attaché, I think, that's with the Russian embassy. Yes. Mm-hmm.
See.
Should I do this? Should I go and get a reading? I mean, do you think it's on the level?
From what Victor has said, a reading potentially will show you things. A reading will show you things. Whether or not they are things that you are ready and willing to see, or if they are things that you even want to happen, you cannot be certain until you actually attend. Personally, I do not put much weight in the mystic arts, beyond that of, well, him.
Him?
The Lord. The word of a preacher, of a clergyman, is more to me than that of Madame Sorokin. She is potentially dabbling in powers that I don't personally believe you want to be mixed up in. But if you should so choose, I would strongly suggest bringing someone you trust alongside you, as being vulnerable alone is never a good thing.
As I have found out, yes, I consider myself quite lucky that I met Victor the other day. But it seems ridiculous to ask if he would accompany me to a reading for someone humble like me. Simple.
Victor has found a soft spot in his heart for you.
I don't think that's the case. He's talked about his fiancée, who would be
It-
very, very irate if he even looked at someone else, I believe. So I think that's...
Do not take this the wrong way, Melody. It is simply that the family that Victor comes from is, I don't want to say beyond reproach, but they see themselves as masters of their domain, kings and queens among their craft. Do not take this the wrong way, but I do not believe that his fiancée would see you as a threat for Victor's heart. More so that you would not necessarily be someone that she considers worthy of him at all.
That's fair. I'm again a simple body. I prefer reading about them, right? I mean, oh, this one was very good. When I read it, and it's... What is Victor's last name?
You've definitely heard of them. I believe, in fact, and Whitmore would go to the bookshelf and pull one of the stories of Rasha Crucius off the shelf. I do believe that this one, the dragon of the Jade Isle, is in fact the same Armstrong family that Victor belongs to.
No. Really?
If you've got the time, Whitmore would pull out his pocket watch and realize that it is very late. When you have a chance, then, if you come by Hargrave House, there's the potential that I can show you a signed copy by Rasha Crucius himself.
That would be excellent. Oh, I can't even think about going to sleep now. Good thing tomorrow's a weekend. Can I come with you and see the book?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Give me just a moment to finish cleaning up, as Whitmore
let me
would...
help you. I'm so sorry. You've been so wonderful to do this for me. Thank you.
In that case, the two of them would dance around the kitchen as Melody knows where every plate and dish goes, and Whitmore knows how to wash and dry things in what looks like a single swipe.
And for your 8, that is your mixed result. You have Melody now as your companion for the rest of the night.
Excellent.
Victor.
Oh,
Victor. Yes. You are here in St. James's Park, and you are... Tell me how you're skulking again.
Yeah, just like sticking to the shadows, like going from like tree to tree, not really jumping between them, but more just like staying in the shadows underneath them. Like parks are weird because like no superhero can survive at the park because there's not enough like space to go from place to place, right?
Yes.
Thought about it a lot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's more just like staying at the blind sides of people, staying out of their view, and just very smoothly transitioning from spot to spot.
Okay. Question. Are you looking for clues for St. Petersburg? Or one of the other threats?
I think because of his interaction with Madame Sorokin
Mhm.
earlier in the day.
Yeah.
I think he would be keeping an eye out for any sort of like out of place exchanges of information, like people who are clearly like being surrounded by toughs and like dark areas, people who don't seem like they want to be there, but they're being forced there anyways. And just general criminal activity is what he's on the lookout for.
Sure. Okay, great. I think you do see one of these things from your treetop perch. I think you are seeing what looks like a casual meeting, like over by maybe one of the ponds or something like that here at St. James's Park. I'm not familiar with the territory, so like if I'm adding a pond and there isn't one, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, like first it's like one fella, like just kind of looking out at the, you know, over the pond, and then it's another fellow that's kind of joining him, and just like talking, and then maybe like, you know, one or two other people that look like they're about ready to approach, but just kind of like on the periphery, like watching the first two. And then with the first two, they look like they're just talking, looking at it over the pond. However, you see surreptitious passing of what looks like, and I can't put that in there because that didn't like that. What looks like, and you won't know this until you get up close, but what look like government documents. Like maybe they're in like kind of like one of those leather leather folders.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like just kind of passed very casually, like neither of them looking at each other, and just kind of like passed very casually to the other under cover of darkness. But you see it. But I think as this is happening and you're watching intently, I think you're starting to notice more joining those second two on the periphery, like as if they're going to converge upon the first two that are over by the pond.
Yeah. So I think what Victor will do is just come up behind the gathered, I don't want to call them henchmen, but that's what Victor thinks they are in his head. And just from behind them, Victor will be like, have you all ever had a family member in town and just really did not want them to be here? Like, what? Like, do you all think you should still say hello? You know, I know you're working right now. I don't have to step in if you're busy, but it's just like he's kind of like an encapsulation of everything you don't like about your family, you know? That person you just like when you think, oh, my family's like, this is a really shit part of my family, he's like the first face you see. Like, what do you all like? Again, I don't want to cut in if you're doing something here, but like, should I like approach? I'm not really sure. What do you all think?
They all turn to you, listen to you ask these questions. They look at each other and they go, "It's him. Get him." And they all converge upon. Yep, exactly. They all
Nice.
do it. Okay, so yeah, we are going. Like this chat. Victor Armstrong, king of small talk, the most relatable member of Hargrave House, and superhero. Yes, yes, indeed. Paul. Bridget McKenna is a kitchen maid, one of the first customers to arrive at the market. As she moves between the stalls, how do we see that she is desperate to impress her master?
So Bridget McKenna is maybe in her like late 20s, and we can kind of just see that going through the fish market, she is frazzled, like a couple hairs out of place. She trips every now and then, but more so than through her, we can see that she is desperate to impress her master, because she always looks so surprised and thankful when the shop owners or stall owners she goes up to seem to keep giving her like really good ingredients, like their best catch of the day, their like freshest um like seafood. And then it gets like towards the end of like the shopping trip, and she's up against this like really salty looking old woman, like seems to have been working here for years. And she just goes, I just can't believe that my terrible luck today. It's this all of this I've been getting is great. And the woman like brings her closer, and the woman goes, dearie, I'm gonna let you in on a secret here. Everyone in this fish market likes you. You're nice. That's fine. Secret number 2. Everyone in this market fucking hates the other kitchen maid that's been coming here for years. She berates all of us. It's not like fair to any of us for this to keep happening. We have given her our worst ingredients of the day. You will impress your master. Replace her. For the love of God, replace her.
Oh my gosh. How can I come back from this? Holy shit. Okay, I will try. I will do my best. All right, so Doc has run off after the disappearing around the corner shadow, and Lord Campbell-Hughes, you're feeling like really worn out. Yeah, so I'm gonna say at this point, Doc, I think because of the amount of blood that appeared, or like that you smelled, plus also having the blood pool in your brain, I think it's very difficult for you to catch on to the trail again. I think you end up on a different side of another alleyway, and it's disorienting again. Like the shadows, even with your heightened senses, I think the shadows are just gone awry, and you lost your lantern, so that's not going to help you either. And all you smell is blood. That's basically what's coming up in your nostrils right now. And Lord Campbell-Hughes, do you think you catch up to him at some point?
I'm moving with a purpose.
Okay.
And keeping the lantern low, and I have the stake launcher on my shoulder at the ready.
Okay.
But I'm not saying anything. I'm just walking the direction that Doc ran.
I'm gonna say that Doc, as you're making your way around, I think you hear the barking tones of, "You there! What are you doing around here this time of night?" And you turn and you see a broad-shouldered, neatly pressed constable with, like, kind of slapping the wooden truncheon in his hand. "What are you doing there?" And he's pointing the truncheon at you. "Is that blood?"
I think that Doc, like, still very heightened, probably like close on the border of hyperventilating, like realizing that he's losing the trail, probably lost the trail, but like desperately, like reaching out with all of his senses, eyes shooting back and forth, like everything's turned up to 11. Like gut check reaction to someone trying to talk to him, goes, "The fuck you say?" And then realizes he like yelled at a police officer. He goes, "Ah,
Who do you think you are? As he comes more into like maybe the dim light of the moon or something like that, and then realizes, oh, it's you. Hargrave House, is it?
Yep, you got me. Got me dead to rights. I apologize. I was distracted.
Distracted. Uh, This blood. What is that from?
So like I'm covered in splatters of blood.
Yes.
Stray cat. It was a stray cat. See, I'm allergic to cats. There's this thing back home. You can probably tell that I'm not from here, but back home, uh, Bob, don't know where I'm going with this, but
I have a nose for trouble. That's what makes me good at my job. My nose smells all sorts of strangeness from you. What do you think you're investigating here in Limehouse? I am Police Constable Lansing. I make it my business to know what goes on around here.
oh,
What
well,
is going on around
that's
here?
that's great, Constable Lansing. I was just like I said, I was chasing a stray cat. It took something from me, an heirloom, a family heirloom from back home. It is
You
a
So you decided to tear it apart? What?
so, this isn't the cat. It's it bit me real bad.
I-
It's just
Do-
something.
Do you
It,
need medical aid, sir? Is
I'm okay. Did you see like a really fast black cat? Like zip.
no, and even if I did, I'm not even sure I'd want to tell you where this cat went.
Well, I don't know why you'd say that. I think I'm gonna kill the cat. I don't mean to. No, that's not. I just.
Truncheon, smacked into the hand. I hold no love for the felines myself, but even I wouldn't stoop this, pointing with the truncheon, this low.
It's just. I can explain everything. There's just where I come from in the town I grew up in back in the States. There's
I
like
smell a bit of drink on you. Is that what I smell too?
probably not. Probably not. I was chasing the cat because it's bad luck to see a black cat. But if you feed the black cat a fish, then it's okay. It's superstition, you see, back in the States. And so I was trying to feed the stray cat a fish because I,
And it
can't
bit you.
deal with any bad luck. And it bit me and it zinged off. It took my fish, and I looked down like a ring on my finger. Yep. Made a Texas gold. Yeah, been in my family for ages and ages. Cursed, actually.
And this has to do with.
Well, the cat is giving me bad luck. Can't abide by that. That's no good. That's going to come back and ruin my day. Also, the cat got that ring off my finger, and A, it's a family heirloom. B, cursed gold. Not good. So the legend goes, all gold in Texas is cursed.
He's gonna take his hat, his hat off, and just kind of scratch his head. Mm.
Am I close? Am I close to this?
Yeah, you think by now you've come upon them, and like you see like Constable Lansing like scratching his head, his hat is off, his truncheon's at his side, and all this other, like
Now see
looking like he
here.
does not understand what this crazy American is saying. Go ahead.
Now see here. Now see here. Now. Now. See here. See here now.
Is
Constable.
that you, Lord Campbell-Hughes?
Yes, and I'm going to have your badge number.
What?
Yep.
You're covered in blood too. Were you chasing this cat and it bit you this hard?
I was telling him about the cat.
Have you seen the cats in the Limehouse, Constable. They're like small bears. Is this your responsibility? Is this your district?
This is my district,
Have you
sir.
not reported the cats of immense size that haunt these alleys?
I have not seen these cats of immense size, sir.
Where's your station house?
I just work the Limehouse beat. I report to Scotland Yard. What?
Oh, well, you do. Well, tonight you do. We'll see about it tomorrow.
Sir? I'm confused. What needs to be handled here in Limehouse?
Apparently, something that's far over your head. The amount of incompetence, I turn to Doc, the amount of incompetence in these street level constables, it's staggering. I bet you don't get this kind of thing in New York City.
I didn't want to say anything, but I spend most of my time far away from the big city. So I know a thing or two about lawless streets. And I mean, these are about as lawless as I've been in ever.
The chief inspectors are pretty good.
This fellow, though.
Rank and
Not so
file
much.
constables, I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go patrol your beat, man. Don't stand there with your mouth open.
Night move. To see if you can push your luck and not arouse further suspicion.
Is that for both of us?
No, that would just be for Lord Campbell-Hughes. Sorry. Presence, please.
I take out a cigar because I get this, and I'm using. I'll try to use the lantern to light it, but I can't. So I take out my REC lighter with a big REC emblem on it. I want
Oh,
to use that for
Okay.
an advantage, and I'm
Okay.
afraid that this will somehow get back to Gwyneth, my contact at the REC, and I'll
Mhm.
get in trouble.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be worse. I think it'll be where not only will it be it'll be Gwyneth, but she's also going to be rather pissed off at you for taking this kid to task. Maybe he is actually like the one that she's lined up to replace Pettigrew or whatever. Basically, like they have a better relationship than she does with Pettigrew, and like she's like, why did you piss him off, or whatever. So, yeah, she's gonna have voids with you, basically.
All right, and this is presence.
Yes.
And does my heart palpitations or my impatience affect this?
I'm gonna say, like, if you are using something for advantage, then like it's gonna be a straight roll because like the conditions are going to take away from your usual composure.
2 ones again. I rolled 2 ones 2 times in a row. That's statistically impossible. But yeah, it rolled 2 ones 2 times in a row. I don't think I want to use this die roller anymore.
It's fine. You can use whatever die roller you want. You can even use physical dice. Just talk dirty to them, whatever it takes, because this is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
so
My God.
I
My
got
God.
snake eyes.
Holy crap, a doodle frickin' do. Wow. Okay. So, I don't believe you, sir. I think that Hargrave House is, well, I mean, your reputation precedes you, as dirty and filthy as it is. D.I. Pettigrew was right. You are a bane upon our fair city in terms of justice and meting out good. I think there will be a severe report to D.I. Pettigrew, as well as moving up the chain, sir, as I believe you know what I mean.
I'm going to use a mask and avoid this.
Okay.
Shenanigans.
Yep. And then, Doc, just so you know, yeah, I mean, like, unfortunately, I don't have, like, all the moves memorized, so unless you you like actually call it out, I don't know that you're using it, you know? I mean, aside from like the basic moves like day, night move, like information, that sort of thing. So if you have a specific playbook move, please feel free, and for everybody, like, you know, just call it out so this way I know what I'm looking at or what I'm listening to. So, yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so you're doing the 8 to 9, 7 to 9. All right. So that's not what it happens. Yeah, you succeed, and he's just going to be, well, are you sure you won't need my help, sir? I mean, I can accompany you as you continue your investigations on finding this cat and the cursed ring, the cursed
We
gold.
don't know exactly which direction it went. So we'll go this way and you go that way. And if you encounter it, keep the truncheon handy.
Okay.
It may save your life.
Okay. What if I'm able to capture the cat, sir? Should I alert you in some
If
way?
you're able to capture it, then you're a better man than me, and I will salute you.
Yes, sir. All right. I will continue on, and I will look out for this cat then. Um, is it something that I need to apprise the rest of my crew, my station?
Sure. Tell the lads down at your station that there's some very large cats in the Limehouse. Very large, very feral,
Hmm.
very dangerous.
Just surprised I haven't seen them before, sir. But all right.
We think they came in with a ship, possibly not even. Maybe they're an invasive species of feral cat.
Oof.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were from Texas.
Okay. And it's like police constable Lansing will just kind of scratch his head again and then just kind of tip his hat to you and bow a little bit, Lord Campbell-Hughes. Um, I don't want to give you another condition, but I think you need one. I think Lord Campbell-Hughes, I think you get close call as your condition. Sorry. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to Doc. So, is there anything that you want to do before I switch over to Whitmore?
I mean, if we've lost our leads on you know, what we were looking for, probably not.
Okay. All right. Whitmore. Okay, so now you have Melody, who is, you know, interested in seeing this book with the signature in it.
Yes. And I think now that we're in Hargrave House, Whitmore would, unless you wanted to do something in the streets, but I figured at the Hargrave House library would be best.
Okay.
Whitmore would offer Melody a drink of almost any kind from the house's kitchen, and probably bring the book up with him into the library. And I guess to show off just a little, place it next to, one sec while I look up the name of this text, the Almanac of the
Hyades, yeah.
Hyades. And mentioned that Rosicrucius Armstrong was actually interested in this very book here.
He
as
touched
well.
it. Amazing.
And Whitmore would flip through the pages, showing off some of the book's odd properties, but being very careful not to let Melody touch the book. Because we mentioned that the almanac has shifting letters and pages that go on for too long that always seem to catch your eye. So.
And he was here, and you actually got to talk to him.
The books do embellish him a little bit, but he's definitely exactly as broad and exactly as bodacious as the author makes him out to be. Though many of his feats of strength are embellished for the reader's benefit.
Meaning that he isn't as strong? Or...
He is definitely an Armstrong, but he is not as bold or as brave as the books make him out to be. He is still an adventurer in his own right, but meeting one's heroes tends to put a damper on their demeanor. Or on their, not demeanor, what's the word I'm looking for? Put a damper on their larger-than-life status.
So you found him rather mundane then?
I found him to not be as good a house guest as Victor is. He's very full of himself. He ate my sandwich.
Oh my.
But that does not make him any less of a world traveler.
Well, and I think she had taken you up on your offer of tea, and that's what you guys are drinking at the moment. Well, I suppose it's one thing to be able to read about all the adventures, and then quite another to be able to see these people in person. It's easier to admire from afar than it is to meet them and realize they're not all that, I suppose. Goodness.
Unfortunately, that is so often the case. But I'm not sure if you've seen in the papers the monochrome men that have been beginning to get found near Three Mills Island.
Yes.
That is in fact the very case that Rosicrucius is here to study, and why he came to Hargrave House for this book. And Whitmore would flip to the passage that Rosicrucius did, and I guess this is the first time he's actually read over it, but would read it out loud, given that Rosicrucius is the one that reviewed the book.
Yeah, so let me see something.
Oh, is reading it out loud a bad thing?
Please do a night move.
Oh, wonderful. What stat am I using?
Sensitivity.
Guess this is a straight roll then. 5.
Oh shit, I forgot to ask you what you think would go wrong.
Yes, because I know it's going wrong and I know I'm probably using a mask. There's probably the pages of the book the book itself would slam itself onto Whitmore's hand. And 3 Mills Island, I'm just double checking. No, that's the portal ritual. Biting off Whitmore's hand, the book would open, revealing a multicolored portal that the ritual describes. Whitmore, of course, would now be missing his right hand, bleeding profusely.
Yeah. In fact, you find out why you're missing your right hand. The hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the head of a something with a double maw has chomped it off through this portal and is advancing through the portal as we speak.
Whitmore would like his hand back. I'm gonna use a mask of the past.
Okay. Oh, Lord Campbell-Hughes, which mask were you using? Or was that Doc? I'm sorry.
It's me, my next Mask of the Past.
Okay. So Mask of the Past from Doc, Mask of the Past from Lord Campbell-Hughes. And Whitmore, you said you were using Mask of the Past as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Oh, hey, Doc. Okay. All right. So that is not what happens. You do not open up a portal. However, I'm going to say that you have the feeling of, as you're reading this passage, I think you have the feeling of being watched. And it feels very, not just watched by a passerby, but it feels very alien to you. Like if it's something around you, above you, and it is looking at you with eyes that cannot see and yet sees everything. Take the condition otherworldly surveillance. And Melody will see this and go, "Are you all right? You look like you've, well, seen a ghost." And then she immediately looks behind her to see if there's anything behind her.
Whitmore would take probably more than a beat, probably a full like breath in and out to compose himself. It's more so that I think I found something in this passage that Rashicrucius may have missed. He would proclaim, lying through his teeth to not frighten Melody. And it leads to new implications in the case.
Huh. Is that something that you can use? Are you going to investigate?
It certainly is. It's definitely a lowercase c clue in the right direction.
Okay. She's just looking at you worriedly as she sits there and you're still holding the book. Flipping over to Victor. Victor, you are being surrounded. Or, yes, the gang members, let's just say they're like, there's about 6 of them now, and they're like, moving in a fanning motion to surround you. So, what do you want to do? This is definitely night move for sure.
Yes.
How can it go wrong?
Do you want to roll together the resolution of my previous move into this one, or do you want to? Because I still have to like ask questions to them.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
I think go ahead.
I think as they're surrounding me, I can be asking them this, and then we can do the night move after the full surrounding.
Absolutely, go for it. Sorry.
So as they surround me, Victor will go, "All right. I see where this is going. Before the fun begins, just a couple questions. You all of you, men and women, seem incredibly tough. Seems you all are very large in your own respects. Your hideout must be somewhere. Like, is it like a big place? Are you all squished together in like a small flat? That seems very uncomfortable. So that was first like, where's your lair? And then he will go, oh, and like full transparency, if you would, what do you want from the girl from Sorokin? Is she like your leader, or like what's the deal with that?
And you rolled a 9 on that?
Yes.
Okay. I think 1 or 2 of them are going to be like, I mean, you would think that us being in the line of business that we're at, it'd be a simple thing just to shake down the marks. But before we beat you senseless, it wouldn't hurt to let you know that sometimes we're just the cleanup crew for some serious embezzlement. And this is when they go after you. So that's the clue. So, and you can contextualize like how you want to put that when you finally get an answer down. But it's evidence of serious embezzlement.
Nice.
Yep. And then they go after you. Night move, so obviously vitality.
Yes.
What do you think will go wrong if you fail or lose your nerve?
I think what Victor is afraid of if I fail or lose my nerve is I think it takes too long. Like he's not losing, but he's not like decisively winning.
Right.
And in that time, he's afraid that like it will attract the other Armstrong in the area. Like he needs this to be over before, because Armstrongs know when there's like a fight happening nearby. So like he's like, I need to finish this quick.
Okay. Sorry, I'm almost hoping you don't succeed. Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, go for it.
Is there anything worse than that, you think?
I think what's gonna happen is it's like, like to make it just grim worse is that you don't succeed to take out the gang members, or to have them rout, and then you find that one of the people that was meeting with the documents, the one with the documents is gone, and then the other one's dead by the pond.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah.
So.
All right. So I'll just roll this straight. 2d6 plus vitality. Oh, I don't think I get it. That is a 5.
Oh my god! What the hell? Are you rolling with dice, or are you rolling with the roller?
I believe Ben from the Discord recommended a dice roller that he uses, and it's his favorite. And I will never. I don't think I'm going to use it again. I'll get a refund on it. Actually, I think.
Oh my god! Holy shit! Just kidding. Okay. So basically,
I'll probably mark a mask after.
Okay. Because that's what happens. Basically, on the 5, it's like this fight is taking way too long. You're not getting overwhelmed, but they are really good. I mean, like amazingly enough, this blackmail gang is awesome, and they're keeping you at bay. And then you like through them, you can see that like maybe 2 more have cropped up. Like one of the dark figures that has the documents is like stuffing them into their jacket, and they're leaving, and then the other one gets stabbed in the back by one of the gang members. So he's dead by the pond. If you want to run with that, that's what happens. If you don't, you need to put on a mask.
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I think what's happening is like Victor probably was like they were a lot better, so he was having a lot more fun, and he just like was just like enjoying himself too much during the fight. But yeah, I will mark a mask for that not to happen.
Oh my god!
It was a mask of the past.
Okay, now just remember, we still have masks on the table for like each of these threats. Nobody's used this shit yet. I mean, like as far as I know. So there's still mask of the. What am I talking about here? Mask of the mirror. There's still mask of the sun. And such, and Mask of Dim Carcosa. So, I mean, if you don't want to use your own mask, they're still on the table for right now, but, whatever. Okay, so Mask of the Past?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god, everybody owes me one. Holy crap-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, so that doesn't happen. You succeed. You find out about the embezzlement, and tell me what it looks like when you at least, like, route them, or
I think what happens is when the fight started, Victor asked them, he was like, would you prefer both legs or one arm? And they go, what? And like I feel like just to even the odds, you can choose whether I just use my legs or just one of my arms. And I don't think he like beats them senseless, but at some point they're just like, this guy is fighting me with one arm, weaponless. I don't think we're gonna win. Or like we need more people, I think is what they're thinking.
So do you think that you route them, that they're on the run now?
Yeah, I think I route them, but if it's a partial success, um, I think I would prefer the person not die,
Okay.
but just because we all wanted it to happen, like Rosicrucius still like shows up, but like at the tail end.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I mean,
It's up to you, but that was
oh
just
no no
like
no. Well, I'm gonna flip over to the last unseen, and then we're just gonna do like, okay, how do we think this shit wraps up? Because then, yeah,
Mhm.
we'll do it then. But yeah, so you succeed in routing them, but yeah. All right, let's go on to the last unseen to finish up the night. Paint the scene, and this is everyone. Before dawn has broken, the market is already bustling. Describe a moment in which the loud, messy industry of the market reflects that of London as a whole.
I think we see a lot of the wastewater from the fish market, and maybe if they prep fish, scales and things like that. So we see all this getting flushed out into like the drains, but from a larger, when we pan out and look at London from a larger or further out viewpoint, we see all kinds of stuff getting flushed down the drains, whether it's chemicals from the mill, or if it's dead rats or whatever. There's all kinds of detritus being flushed down the drains at pretty much the same time.
Amongst all the haggling of for various fish and the unloading of boats, we see a pair of men that don't belong down at the docks. Two men in fancy suits and top hats who are clearly disgusted to be here, loudly yelling at a fisherman that he needs to get down off of the rigging, as it's their boat now, that he didn't pay up and that the bank owns his boat, and that as representatives of the bank, they are here to get him off of their property. The fisherman is, of course, not listening and still unloading his day's catch.
I think we see a group of fishermen that were like hauling a very large hand cart full of their catch, arguing about right of way with the driver of a steam carriage that is hauling some crates. They're like blocking each other's way, and neither is letting the other pass. And they're just like arguing in the street.
And I think we see from the first scene David Mendez is walking out of the fish market. And I think he like stops at like a very like dark corner of it. And because this is part of our safety tab, I won't go into detail. But I think we just see him look horrified. And goes and says like, no. And we just see like it like the side part of the frame, like a collar and a ringing bell on the ground next to like maybe what should be fur, but looks kind of dry.
All right. So, yeah. You managed to stave off Constable Lansing, but I think you've lost the Limehouse lurker for now. What do you two do here? now?
I think I'm looking at it from like the edge of Limehouse now, and I think I'm pretty confident, Doc, that that this is where our infestation is. I think Limehouse is where we need to double down our efforts, perhaps in the daytime.
Yeah, I think that would serve to our advantage, most certainly, Lord Hughes. And it does seem to be full to the brim with creatures of some variety.
Do you head home or do you uh do anything else here?
I think I would give you a cigar, and I think we would just I would want to keep walking the perimeter just for until really late, just to see what we can see. Um,
Yeah,
I'm feeling
sounds
pretty
good.
confident that we've got it like narrowed down.
Doc, like, by the way, Lord Hughes, have I ever brought you to the hare chasing hounds? Oh, you'd love it there. It's great. Like, maybe dip into my favorite bar, which is a terrible place, and I can't imagine Lord James Campbell-Hughes would like it even a little bit.
You know, now that you mentioned it, I have found this very strange bar that I think I have to take you to one evening if I can find it again.
Piqued my interest. You've piqued my interest 2 times over, Lord Hughes. I'm there.
Um, have you walked into the hair chasing hounds right now? Do you think? No? You're just out on the street? Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking, just maybe just mentioning it, and at best, like Doc running in to get something to sip on while we walk the perimeter of Limehouse.
Here is a mastermind clue as you're wandering around and about. Give me a second. I think that as you two are going around, I think maybe in the moonlight, dim light, whatever's around this particular area that you find yourselves in as you make your way home, I think you'll see your reflection. And this is for both of you, but you'll see something different. If you're amiably walking along and you see your reflection, Lord Campbell-Hughes, I think you will see your reflection walking and then looking at itself. And then the reflection will take a deep bow before matching your movements again. And Doc, I mean, like maybe you're talking with Lord Campbell-Hughes and then you catch a glimpse of your reflection in a window or some such, and you notice that as you're turning, matches up to that point. You're talking to Lord Campbell-Hughes and you're sort of seeing yourself in this reflection. You notice that the reflection whips out the saltpeter gun and aims it at Lord Campbell-Hughes before dropping the hand back to matching your movement again. And yes, this is the mastermind clue that I owed you from last time. So yeah. There we go. Hunter's movement briefly fails to match their movement. Thought I put it in there. Darn it, where'd it go? Okay. That's fun. So now it is in some random place. Ah, here we go. It's in the wrong. Move that. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. Mastermind clue. And Whitmore. Yeah, you know, Melody is looking at you concernedly. And so what's your next steps? I mean, are you going to continue to investigate from the armchair, or are you actually going to go to Three Mills and look for yourself?
I think the next step does involve a trip to Three Mills Island. Though it will not be a picnic, it certainly warrants additional investigation.
Well, I appreciate you showing me these. I'm sorry if I was any trouble.
You are no trouble at all. In fact, you've been incredibly helpful. Without you, I would not have reread this passage.
Where's an adventure but in a book, right?
Oh, I may steal that if I might. Where's an adventure but in a book?
Might save me some trouble, if I guess, remain reading rather than venturing out.
It's certainly safer within the pages, but I have at the least found that while there is safety within the pages of a book's contents never changes. One's own story can be rewritten as it's happening, and that, Melody, is part of the reason I think that you've come out of your shell. You've wanted to write your own story.
It feels true. Yes. I just hope I'm not in over my head.
And if you are, then you'll simply learn how to swim out of it.
You are a man full of great confidence, Whitmore. Mr. Whitmore, sorry. This has been lovely, and I hope to further our acquaintance.
Absolutely. Given
Not-
the late... Oh,
Yes.
go ahead.
Not that you have to pay me
No.
for anything. So.
Absolutely. Given the late hour, would you like an escort back to your place? Otherwise, I can make up a bed for you here.
If it's all right, I wouldn't mind taking a little rest here. I mean, just for a little bit. Get a little nap, and then maybe I will go home. Yes.
Whitmore will make up a bed for Melody and put a do not disturb sign on the bedroom door, as it's an otherwise unused bedroom.
And we'll close out of that little cozy scene as we go to Victor. Victor, I think well, do you think that you've beaten them up sufficiently, or do you think that, like, you're still in the midst of whatever as Rasha Crucius comes up?
I think we just see Victor walking away from men and women lifting each other up. He has some blood on him, not that much, probably a couple broken noses and stuff. And we see him like look at the horizon as the sun is coming up, and he just goes, oh, fuck, I gotta get back. And he will begin to like rush off, or attempt to rush off.
Mm-hmm. And I think, from behind you, I think, as you're rushing off, it's like you hear, "Bravo! Bravo! Ha! Cousin!"
Every muscle, every ligament, every tendon in Victor's body tenses as he hears this voice behind him. He takes a deep breath and turns around and goes, "Is that Rasa Crucius?"
It is! And he's got his big burly arms wide and like, "Come here, cousin. We need to have an embrace."
Yes, you will not stop until I do it, so yes, and he will come.
The ironic cousinly pat, whatever.
Yeah.
But he will like pretty much try to crush you as he does, and he might even give you like a little bit of a head, like that little head dookie.
No, don't do that. Don't.
Are you afraid I'm going to mess up that wonderful tousled head of yours?
No, I just don't like it when you touch me. It's fine though. It's fine.
Come on, we've done worse when we've sparred. You've tried to muss this all up,
Mhm.
but you know you can't.
No, it's really weird, really. I think I think you use magic. It's crazy how you don't.
Magic.
Yes.
Laughs
You
a
like
little
that
bit.
stuff, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Keeps it so neat and tidy. Absolutely. Uh,
You're in town? I didn't know.
no. Well, I mean, I'm in for a case. That
Mm,
strange case of 3 Mills Island with those
yes.
monochromatic peephole. The newspapers got it wrong yet again. Can you believe
Ah,
it?
ah,
Of course, of course.
of course, of course.
Yes. Oh, I've already stopped
So,
by your house. Well, where you're staying right now. I've already stopped by Hargrave House. Took a look at
yes,
that wonderful almanac that they have in the library.
of course.
That charming servant of yours. White, white
Mm,
much?
close enough. Yes.
Ah, okay.
You will not
Yes.
remember it either way, so it doesn't really.
You offend me. Oh,
Hmm? Oh, no, it's just, I just haven't seen you in a while, cousin, and it is a,
a pleasure.
it,
Of course.
yes, that's where I was going.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, like, you can help me with the case, of course. I mean, like, I'll just have that done and ready in the next day or
And,
so.
and you're saying that that's the only reason why we're here. If we get that case finished, then is there like another place you're gonna go after, or is this a longer stay?
Would you like me to make it an extended visit? I totally can. I mean, my calendar's. And he just kind of like whiffles like through a book that he produces from his sleeve.
Hmm.
My calendar looks quite free. What do you think? Do an extended
We'll talk.
visit?
We'll talk about it. I think it's like a one Armstrong at a time at Hargrave House, if I remember father telling me. But we'll figure it out. Let's head back and we'll get this case up and just yes. We'll destroy those monochromatic men. Is that what's happening? I haven't really been
I no. We're trying to find out who is
killing
do.
them.
Yes,
Okay. Yes.
yes,
Yeah. All
absolutely.
right. We'll do it.
I I will. He dusts you off like in a
It's
perfunctory
fine.
way. It's like I will let you get back to Hargrave House.
Mm.
Wonderful drafty rat hole it is, and I'm going to get back to the hotel. I'm in a hotel. It's beautiful.
Which
Um,
one is it? In case I would like to be in the area. Um,
I believe it's the
yes.
keep the
Yes.
Longhorn,
Yeah.
Langhorn, something. One of those. It's just
Okay.
beautiful.
And I'd
Most
let you know
modern.
if I'm anywhere nearby that place, I will let you know.
I think I can sense you.
Yes.
Yes.
I know you've been able to do it since we were children. It's been great.
It's wonderful.
I
Absolutely.
love it. It's
Now
so good.
remember, you use
Mhm.
the doors, not the rope. Yes.
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 Yes. That's
All right.
just the rope is there for. No, it's fine. It's fine.
And he proceeds to wrap another big burly arm around you and goes, "It's so wonderful to see you again. Yes, we'll have so much fun."
Yeah, I think that's a good place.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Okay, so close out a night phase. My God. I am so sorry, guys. I feel like you've been having to deal with my bullshit all night. Okay, great. Let's go to the hunters real quick. I'm sorry, so sorry. All right, so we're gonna go to John phase. John phase. All playbook moves resolved as of dawn. With your quickening move, you can give me an additional clue for if you want to give it for Limehouse Lurker, since that's what you were actively investigating. Doc, you can. If you don't have one right now, then go ahead and put in Doc TBD.
Is it possible I could do a clue for a different thing?
Sure.
It occurred to me something would be really appropriate is on
Yeah.
our way back. If I realized that I was being followed, what makes it really hard to figure out this is happening is because it just like looks like robins every now and again. Like they're just kind of everywhere. But with Doc's like keen senses at this point, he notices that like when you look really close, they're actually not like red-breasted robins. They're more like totally red, like monochromatically red birds. Just kind of like just behind, just like they're both following like you would in a car, so like trying not to be seen, and also like blending in a little bit because they're birds, and if you don't look closely, it's like, oh, that's a robin. Gotcha. I'd say cardinal, but I don't know that England has cardinals. I don't know.
When are we historically accurate? Not really.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
put in
right.
what you want. So
Mhm.
but basically put that under monochromatic men for sure. Okay. Answered Dawn questions. No threat was resolved this evening. We're going to go through the questions bam quick. I'm going to start from the other side since, Doc, you're going to put in your clue. So, legacy. Hunters answered a question. Yes, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Resolve a threat. No. Did you experience an echo in the night? I thought I heard it.
Yeah. Both. No, wait, just one. It was the newspaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you loudly curse your family's name?
Yes. Two henchmen.
Okay. Did you revel in the thrill of the hunt? I would say so. Like as you're kind of going around and like trying to stalk, stalk for trouble and stuff. So I'll go ahead and take that. Go ahead and take an X for the fight, for the big fight against the gang. Factotum. Hunters answered a question, did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Yes. With the lightly crisped potatoes, a callback to the ones being served by the fish and chips seller.
Good. Okay. Did you have a scene showing your secret private life in London? I would say kind of,
yes. Yeah. Especially with the bookshop. And then the petty reprisal was me writing the letter to the prison, trying to get them to reimburse Lord Campbell-Hughes for all of the milk.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Go ahead and take it. Lord James Campbell-Hughes, Hunters answered a question. Hunters did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Yes, I'm here for two things. That was a callback to the woman that was saying that.
Okay. Did you leverage your social status to gain the upper hand? I think you did. Did you deliver a chilling, dead-eyed monologue about the horrors of the world?
With Whitmore.
Yep. Okay, take those points. Doc. Hunters answered a question, did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Best I tried to pull off was mirroring, I believe it was a quote from, oh boy, now I need to actually pull up the unseen because it is a specific person, very specific. From Maggie Dillon,
okay,
who I believe specifically said, the fuck you mean, while being very, sailor's kind of potty mouth. Yeah. Yes. And I tried to mirror that the best I could by yelling at the cop, the fuck you say?
It's fine. That was good. Okay. So yeah, mark that point. Did you encourage a fellow hunter to let loose for a change?
It was last session, if it does count, because I don't think I did any. No, it was a total throwaway mention with Lord James Campbell-Hughes about going to the hare chasing hounds. But last session, when Victor and I was patching up Victor at the hare chasing hounds, I think I made sure that we were drinking drinks together.
Okay. Did you stick out in London society for all the wrong reasons?
It would be the scene with the constable, if that's supposed to count.
Yeah.
It wasn't as flagrant as I wanted to. I mean, I was covered in blood and I was talking all sorts of American nonsense. But I understand if not.
I'm thinking like London society is more like, daylight and then like, in a particular social situation. Not necessarily like running around in an alleyway covered in blood. So, yeah. Not this time. All right. Okay. So, let's see. I'm going to save the mass. Just get your mass ready for the next time. I'm going to say that's the first thing that we're going to start off as soon as as soon as I'm done with my little intro. So yeah, we'll start with masks for next time. Any dawn stuff? Factotum, I think you have a dawn thing.
Yes. I I think that when Melody leaves in the morning, I know it's not technically the night, but when Melody leaves in the morning, I think she'd leave behind an odd curio from her shop,
Okay.
that either she forgot or left for the house.
Okay.
So I would like to claim that for myself, an odd curio.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you what it is, or you want to figure it out?
Um, if you've got something in mind, otherwise I can figure it out.
Yes, I think that what you see, what she has at her shop is what looks like a ornately carved chess piece. It looks like it's a pawn. And then, anybody else have any dawn type stuff that they need to resolve? We already got the clue from Doc, and Whitmore's already gotten his move done. So if not, then of course, we would just leave Janice Mass for the very beginning of next session. So real quick, just so I don't keep you guys like forever. Any stars and wishes? Stars that you really enjoyed about this session, each other, and wishes what you'd like to see for next time or the future. Okay. A lot of our bullshit running around, plus some really bad rolling because these die rolls hated us today. So yeah, please go for it.
In the
I've got
interest of,
some.
oh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, in the interest of time, to cut my entire list short, 2 stars for everyone, because I think this was the single greatest session we've done. Both the dark London that we've been looking for, getting the gang all back together, and some of the wild zany antics I think we were all excited about.
I'll try to do 2. Let's see. I'm going to go with Mad's clue as a smell for Doc's quickening. I really like that. And which one do I pick? So tough. I'm going to go with Doc in the Limehouse lurker in the alley, because to me that just seemed like those that just to me is like, when I think about the between, I think about scenes like that. And in my wish, I really want to play someday a full-on superhero game with Paul.
Mad star for just bouncing between 3, I would say, totally alien scenes. Just 3 scenes that were just so different from each other in every way, and like pacing and stock, like how many characters. For I just really liked Star over because I really liked watching I like watching Whitmore like get info out of people. It's not like he's like gossipy, but just like getting to see Whitmore talk to people that aren't at Hargrave House. It's just like a totally different vibe. It's very, very good. Let's see, for the portrayal of Victor this evening was just the funniest thing ever. Just there was a lot of funny happening tonight. The Victor portrayal really just took it over the edge for me. And I also, another star, because I loved seeing Lord James Campbell-Hughes just like show up right at the right time to lay into that constable. That was just like, perfectly done dialogue, and also just like everything that kind of character really adds up to for me.
Some quick grouped stars then. I really love the scenes between Melody and Whitmore. It's really cool to see Melody like talk to someone and have like a regular conversation. That was really fun to see. And then yeah, start to Doc and Lord Campbell-Hughes. Like I don't think we've ever had like a scene with just them two as like the spotlight characters, and just seeing what their like what their chemistry is was really cool to see and really fun.
Yeah, I mean, like I just had like a couple of stars. I mean, like I would keep going on, of course, if I had more time. But the 2 stars that I'm going to mention is Lord James Campbell Hughes saying mirth, and the one with, I think this was a character in the unseen that you did, Jeremy, like shellfish and making money, and I haven't run out of fish. I was just like, oh my God, that's so cool. Amazing. Amazing. So just wishes. I mean, like, just trying to get through this. I mean, there's just these, like, not only like your mysteries. I mean, I will say, you know, when I'm looking at the sheet that I have like a campaign list of like each of the campaigns, um, to see the mysteries. You guys have been doing really awesomely, I must say. I mean, you've already banged out 3 mysteries, and it's like, what episode are we on? 10. I mean, like, I got the other one that's like episode 9 or 10, and they've only completed 1. No, 2. 2 now. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, like, you're doing great. So it's wonderful, and I just can't wait to see when we get to the point where I have to figure out like who's going to end up being the servant. I have no idea. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see how these little teeny weeny threads, you know, go on between the mysteries, because it's like I've noticed that I, for whatever reason, with you guys, I mean, it's easier or more complicated to weave in like all these extra people, like Melody's extra, like Rosicrucius is definitely extra. Holy shit. And you know, like maybe I'll work in like Effie Bennett at some point. I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, there's just a few more characters that are actually written in this game, and I love it. I thank you for the opportunity to just be these NPCs that you know and may not love, but they're there, and it's like, it's just so much fun to portray them. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity. So yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else, then you know, but go ahead and put them in the Discord, you know, like to just like, you know, star each other as you think of it. And we will start with Masks of the Past next time. I can't wait to hear these things. And we will begin with Day Phase. Holy shit, so much stuff we have to get through. I think it's going to be an extra long Day Phase next time. So hopefully I'll see everybody then. And yeah, I mean, if you do have any summer stuff that gets in the way, you know, or like, you know, you have family stuff, like please just let me know, okay? And we'll plan around it. I just will not play if there's only 2 players. Like if two players are missing, then I'd rather not play, okay? But other than that, I mean, great session, guys. Like a lot of laughs and like, you know, still some serious grimdark stuff. And yeah, let's keep going. Can't wait to see more. Alrighty, so happy gaming if I don't see you again for something else, and have a great 2 weeks. See you then. Bye.